Welcome back. So today I guess it's going to be small stream, a small small stream. And we are going to be working on I seem to hear myself. We're going to work on the live build out detection boot thing. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on my own branch, which is, let me see. So here we have, so this is what we are interested on, more or less, but here we have the add Syslinux support, and at the same time we should have something similar called, that's a very good question. Why it's different comment? Yeah, because we have this Docker build support thing. Okay, so from here we're going to just create, from this Docker Syslinux OS we're going to create, or have we maybe create something like that? Yeah, okay, Syslinux support -1. Yeah. Okay, so apparently we have created that branch, which is before this thing, and I don't think that's what I want to do. So let me check real quick to master. Let's remove that branch, which we don't need. And now let me see what I want to do. I want to use this copy name. Okay, look at that. So check out this branch. Onto this one here, and later on we will see what we push to Salsa. Okay, so let's take a look how it looks like, all of these tags. So it's in this same place. Okay, so first of all, we want to take a look. So I want to take a look at the old code. So I'm going to create a work tree for this, because I have seen that the other day, and it seemed quite nice to have. So probably I have work tree. So it's at the branch, new branch. So at branch and path. No, path and branch. Create a path and check out. Path and check out. Okay, so I think you are supposed to do something like old Syslinux auto detection implementation, and then I can have my branch, which is one of these down here. Here it is. This is the branch that I want to create. Okay, so probably we have done something. Let's see if we can open this thing into here. And now we should have this thing. Where the hell are we in here? Oh, look at that. We are in that branch and whatever. So now I can sort of you know, have this thing in here regarding is it Syslinux, I think. Wait a minute. Yeah, binary Syslinux thing. So this is what you have on the bottom is what's what you have right now. And so if I go into the other, directory, I should be able to also have the binary Syslinux thing. So I mean, I want to have it, but on the top. Yeah, here it is. I mean, we can actually compare both of them to see what's going on, which might be quite nice to do, actually. So we want to have on the right okay, a script build. So on the right we want to have the new one. So this is binary Syslinux. This is binary Syslinux. Okay, so there has not been any change. That's amazing then, I guess. Wait. Yeah, wait a minute. There are no changes because it's the fucking same archive. I want to be here instead. Now let's see what happens. Okay, nice. So what they have done all of this time, I mean, I could take a look at the different commits, but you know, we can just take a look in here and see what's going on. So if it's not this thing, then you go out. Okay, so that means wait a moment. This is not actually used, isn't it? So if we go into the present and you search for you search for this thing, LB bootloader BIOS, I'm not sure that's actually used. Okay. I mean, the problem is that I want to have both of them, and I'm not sure if this is doing some stuff so that you don't have both of them somehow in that functions configuration thing. Let's open configuration.sh and search for lb bootloader BIOS to see what's going on in here. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. So you have a bootloader for the BIOS, which is Syslinux. Otherwise, you have group EFI for. So if you are not in HDD or netboot, then use group EFI. Okay, I guess it makes sense. Command line option combines BIOS and FE selection into one. Also needs to support all config file that held LB bootloaders. There's no validation here. So apparently LB bootloaders is something old. What are you telling to me? So if I go to the past and I search for this, I might not find this in any place. However, this exists because it's the bootloader's thing. Huh. So apparently they are making me a favor by supporting this stuff. That's interesting. So in the future you have this bootloaders thing, which is mainly on config and configuration.sh, but then it's no longer used in the scripts. So I don't know how this is going to affect my hybrid scenarios where you want both of them at the same time. So if you have both of them, so basically what you do here is if you have Syslinux, then the bootloader is this one. If you have group EFE, then bootloader is this one. Okay. So we'll have to take a look at these two variables and see what the hell do they do in here. Okay, let's take a look at the more comparison stuff. Where's the compare thing? Here it is. Let's see. So we have this require stage files thing changed that we have right now. Log. And okay. So what the hell is this? So image type either ISO or ISO hybrid. Yeah, so the Progress Linux stuff was removed, so now you only have the touched binary Isolinux, which is nice, I guess. HDD tar, bootloader, Syslinux. Yeah, this is once again Progress Linux stuff that has been removed. Okay, look at that. Now we have proper double quotes everywhere. What the hell is this? Oh, wait a minute. Source user. source user common. This is actually the same thing we had before, which was called source. However, now this is meant to be from the user, so it's stated that it's from the user. And then you have the common thing that we didn't have before. We didn't have this Syslinux common thing. So I wonder if... So here apparently it was something like internal copy. So either you use this thing or the other thing. And now there's no longer live build. Yeah, yes, there is, but there is source and source common. Wait a moment. Why do you define source user and source user common if you are not using it? Maybe it's okay. It's used later on, but it's quite different, quite amazing that you need different variables for this and that, and yeah. Okay, so yeah, so you have this Syslinux common thing, restore package binary. Okay, look at that. Here we have this thing about being able to convert SVG into something else. This might... How the hell are you supposed to do this? This is my stuff that I added. If multiple init, we only want latest version. This is also my stuff in here. Okay. Splash. Where's the splash thing? Huh. Okay, so we need to know what the hell has happened with the SVG thing that was needed to be converted, because yeah, I don't know. So here in so what you have on the top is the old version. So here we have this lib SVG. What the hell was the name? So we have this SVG stuff. So apparently we were using our SVG convert in here. Look at that. So we convert into PNG whatever splash SVG we had here. However, right now doesn't seem to be the case. I mean, unless I take a look at here and there is nothing. Yeah, so I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, so I just want to take a look at the different commits on the repo. So I'm going to take a look at the Rescatux repo because I prefer to take a look at at here rather than GitLab, which I'm not very much used to it. So what the hell is this? Scripts, build, binary Syslinux. Architecture checking is not required anymore. Oh, look at that. Check architectures. Why is that? Isn't this multi-architecture? Binary bootloader splash, new script. Oh, look at that. Bootloader splash. So I guess that here we remove everything regarding the splash. So we no longer have SVG2, we no longer have this fun thing, and so now there's no need to loop around that, and all of the part that deal with all of this gets moved out of the way. Actually here binary Syslinux modify the theme type. Yeah, it no longer does that. Test rebuild.sh. Oh, look at that. So here we have some examples on how to build the ISOs. So here you download homeworld.svg as splash.svg and whatever. Okay, let's take a look at this new file. I'm quite interested. So this new file, common functions, okay, bootloader splash image. So depending on the image type, wait a minute. If not Syslinux, then it is script. What happens if you want both of them? Huh. I wonder if... Okay. All of this stuff that you want to have on the SVJ thing, I guess. Linux versions. Whatever, project Debian Linux. If there's no SVG or legacy splash locations. Oh, the last entry which is found will be used. Okay. Yeah, more or less. Makes sense. Tweak the group theme to remove the title text for the fallback image. So this is modifying the theme from group. That's interesting, and it's doing that always. Yeah, I think it's doing this always. ISO hybrid. Okay, so target group. Scenarios for generate PNG files. If it's group Syslinux EFI, is this thing. If it's so we actually want EFI and BIOS Syslinux EFI group. Yeah, that's what I want to have. It's in boot group and that's it. Non-group version is needed. Oh my god. But this is very confusing. Why they have done this like this? Okay, yeah, why not? Okay, so let's go to the history. We have this bootloader splash thing. Share display screen from Isolinux in group. Yeah, I mean this doesn't matter at all because it has been moved somewhere else. Mem text. Are more variables for the splash SVA image. Do not modify group theme if group splash PNG exists. That's why they move everything into the arguments to the tr comment must be quote. Yeah. So slash is needed. Fix. Improve BIOS EFI bootloader selection handling. Full evaluate. Huh. Let's take a look at these two comments. Improve BIOS EFI. The design choice from when EFI support was introduced was to change bootloader to bootloaders, with users specifying their selection of BIOS and EFI bootloaders together. At this time, there were not even any decent validation checks being performed, and invalid combinations could cause some chaos. Since the proper validation was put in place, including checking that only a single instance of each of BIOS and EFI bootloaders exist in the selection. I mean, you could have more than one if you wanted. According to Thomas Smith, I think, but I guess that it's a good call to say, okay, only one BIOS and only one EFI. So here we take things such that we stick with the same option. What to split the selection option to restore the BIOS and EFI selection. So yeah, so this is this thing where they introduce LB bootloader BIOS and LB bootloader EFI, which I guess is a good idea. So they change a lot of stuff in many places. Yeah. And this is the BIOS EFI bootloaders combinations that are checked. Okay, so you plus bootloader BIOS. So I guess that here, if you have more than two, it's an error. That makes sense. Okay. So I guess that you are supposed not to be using Syslinux and group EFI in the same line, but just use one or the other. I mean, huh. So the question is, right now in configuration.sh, can you use this manually? Yes, you can. So I guess that there is a if you take a look at config, you might have a bootloader EFI. Wait a moment. Can I move this to the top? I mean, I can open it on the top if I want to. Maybe it's going to be easier to be working with this if it's on the top. So here on the bottom we were taking a look at configuration, or I don't know. So the question is, does this exist? That is this defined around here? Yeah, but I don't see any bootloader dash BIOS. I mean, here you have all of the documentation, and there is nothing about bootloader slash something. So apparently you're not supposed to be changing this, so you can use whatever you had before. Okay, so let's not change that. And now let's continue to check what the differences are between 2019 and today. So yeah, how you install stuff here and there. Use the current install menu set. Okay. Move user advanced.cft to utilities for webworks compatibility. Okay, I guess. What has happened here? ln -f. So you have to force this somehow, I guess. Why the hell they are still renaming the kernels? Weren't we supposed to be able to handle this properly without having to rename the kernels? I mean, if we rename the kernels, that means that the group staff parent distribution binary LB architecture live build version optional menu entries include okay, look at that. We have optional menus for this thing, so I could try to reuse this way of working and add in a line regarding my auto stuff. However, I want to tackle on this thing regarding you know, so the question is, since this binary we no longer have the loopback thing, binary loopback is no longer here, so I guess that they have put it on group CFTG instead, because it made more sense to have it there. So this is something that they have changed. Okay, so begin installing config for group PC, group EFI, loopback support. Okay, so I guess that it's everything it's in here. Look at that. We also have hotkeys. Auto detect menu entry. Yeah, that's what I want to do in Syslinux. To detect if AMD is supported. Okay, so source users, copy into blades, whatever. Live boot, live or boot. Okay. Look at that. Setting boot parameters. I think that this is not needed, but I'm not sure, but I think this is something, this union file system, it's from some old code. So let me write it down somewhere. So this code in binary group should not probably be here, and it's legacy code from when not squash fest was used, but union file system instead. But I don't think this is in the Syslinux part, but we have to double check all of this. Okay, look at that. Okay, so the full entries, yeah, whatever. So look at that. Here we have base name, beyond the full flavor, the full unit RD. So we are removing whatever. A symbol live. So here's my code where you do this thing in order to know if you have more than 2 or not. And yeah, so if you have more than 2, you do this auto detect thing, otherwise you just do the normal thing. And then here kernel boot So here you can see how we actually use the version, and here we also use the version. So so I don't know. I mean, would this work? Do we have 2 kernels, one for Syslinux and another one for group right now? That's something that I'm not sure. Let's take a look at the bottom regarding binary Syslinux, which is the newest one. The question is, are we renaming the kernels somehow or not? Because there was this thing about kernel 1 and so on, and I'm not sure. Look at that. Rename kernels. If multiple init RD images, we probably want the latest version. Okay. But okay. And this is a way of renaming, or is just link, and that way you have this thing in here. And I guess case flavors 1 asterisk. So now what you are doing here is depending on the number you have 1, 2 or whatever. So you rename the fucking images. I don't know. Let me check whatever I have around here regarding the latest version that we have built, which is whatever. So I mean, we could mount this as an ISO, but Let's take a look. I mean, if it's EFI, we need to boot this with this thing, isn't it? Oh, wait a minute. This is an old version? S3 beta 4. Yeah, it's an old version. I mean, if it's about an old version, why would I have an old version of this? Doesn't make any sense. Or does it? Oh, wait a moment. So, yeah, you go here, you enable the native disk drivers thing, and then you boot manually into what the hell are we running here? So it's not what I'm used to do. So press ask, boot manager. So it's number 3. S3 beta 3. We were using S3 beta 4. I mean, enable all the native disk drivers experimental? Why is this here? Prohibited by secure boot policy. Okay, yeah, so probably the one that we have tested is the non-BIOS, non-SMS one. Maybe this one works better when you want to take a look at. So, I mean, it's actually the same thing as before, but maybe now if we would manually now the boot manually thing is different. I don't know why is S3 anyways, but okay, so now we can load Rescatux, boot from it and see what the hell is inside of it with these new builds that we have. Yeah. Let me see the path to see what the hell I'm putting here. Debian 12, okay, so I put yes there because everyone clicks yes. They don't read anything, so I thought the best way of dealing with this was to say, okay, yes means close everything and you don't care about it. So remove, apply, close, whatever. So I don't want to do this. What the hell I was supposed to be doing here? Yeah, so the medium thing, it's in SRC. I mean, this is the CD-ROM. So we are going to take a look. Let's see what the hell is in here. Look at that. So in live, you have both I mean, the kernels are repeated. So this VM Linux 1 is the same one as AMD 64, and VM Linux 2 is the same one as 686. Okay. So I guess, so this is duplicated. I guess that my code, where the hell I will be able to see, here it is. So I guess that my code supposed that that Syslinux was renaming this stuff and then did some stuff regarding that, but I don't see any of that. I mean, huh. I mean, this is very, very, very dirty, because we are, what the hell are we doing here? We are removing failsafe, label, and so on. Huh. Let me check what the hell is in here. So we also have Isolinux directory, which is supposed to have everything related to Isolinux, like Isolinux CFG, which uses menu.cfg, which has this advanced thing, and actually it's interesting how stdmenu.cfg is included twice. Why? I don't know. BIOS boot menu, whatever, and the other one is live.cfg. So you can see here how there's this fail-safe stuff. Oh, fail-safe don't, yeah, this makes sense. Actually, I think that they have a hook that just renames live to Rescatux or something like that. But I'm not sure about that. So what the hell is this? Rename kernel files. I mean, it's not a renaming because it's just copy, but yeah. So if we have more than one, we should what the hell is going on? If we have more than one, we should add this to the live and its menu default. One second, please. Okay, so but it's a bit confusing. I mean, why would you use a number right now? Because I think that now Syslinux should be able to read all of these files, so there's no need to use the number thing. Just you know, although it might be nice if you have a live CD or something that reads all of this, so you can, I mean, not a live CD but something else that tries to read this. It's much nicer if there's a number in here. So the question is, yeah, which is the question? AMD 64 label. Oh, look at that. 686 label. Auto label. Auto text. Auto menu label. Yeah. Can we move this to the right? How the hell have I done this thing? Why? That's very strange. Oh, because there's no need to move left and right till you are at the very end, apparently. Okay. That's very strange, but yeah, I guess it makes sense. So the question is, can we do this in another way that makes much more sense and you know, more elegant? Because right now we have this thing. So we could actually save AMD label 686 label, and then maybe use it or not, and that's it. Because in here also you have this remove the menu default thing, which I'm not sure what it is. The menu default. Menu default. Yeah, so you don't want menu default in here. How do you remove this? Is it just so if you have more than 2 greater or equal than 2, you remove menu default. Huh. Okay, let's take a look at the top. Let's see how this binary Syslinux thing, how does this deal with menu default thing that we were doing back in the day. Yes, so apparently wait a minute. So apparently they are working with this menu default. They are doing the same thing this is the old one. I mean, this is the old one that we did ourselves, not the original old one. So we want the newest one here on the bottom to show us if there is any menu default thing. What's the purpose of this menu default thing? What the hell is this? Okay, so this menu default thing, what it does is greater than 1. So if you have more than one Linux flavor, then there's no menu default to be added. Okay, yeah. In that case, it's not so bad idea what we did here. Actually, we did the same thing. So apparently in live.cftip.in there's this menu default thing. Maybe it's much easier to have this as a command and then enable it if there is only one of those, because otherwise we are removing this menu default thing by default or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, now I understand why there's this menu default thing, but it's amazing how stupid this is. So if we take a look at whatever this is, which is the live build source code, we should find somewhere, I don't know, maybe in share thing we should see the I don't know, menu.cft live.cft.in. so you can see here how the full menu is the one on the top. Okay, so the first one, so you actually want the first one to be the menu default, but then the next time you loop into here, you don't want this to be the menu default. Actually, wait a minute. Actually, how the hell? Menu default, this is one, and then no other one. I'm not sure if the actual ISO from Rescatux had the menu default in the right place. Now that I'm seeing at the source code, it's like this is taking whatever this is and put it in on live.cft. So auto menu label. I mean, I'm not setting this as the menu default now that I'm seeing this. So I guess that the first kernel was still the full one. I don't know. AMD 64 label. Flavor change into AMD. AMD label. What the hell is this bullshit about the AMD label thing? Okay, let me see. AMD label. So you change the flavor to AMD 64. And the flavor to 666, and then to auto detect. Auto label is auto detect. So we don't want label, we don't want failsafe, and label space gets deleted. What? Label space. I wonder if... What the hell is this? Hey Seraph. Is this a ChatGPT bot that it's going to talk to me? Or is it a real, an actual human being? You're an actual human being. Okay, so... It's interesting how we... I mean, this is when you get the AMD 64 label. So flavor. What do we have as live cfg.in? Okay, so we have a flavor in here. Nice. So we have a flavor. Where we replace it with AMD 64. Okay, I see what we are doing here. So every time is fucking the same thing, which is just find whatever has label, which let me see. So what has label is, so first of all it needs to start with labels. So it's only this line and this line here. Okay. And then you don't want failsafe, so it's no longer this line. Okay. It's this one here. Then you rename label space with empty. So the only thing that it's here is live slash. And finally you change flavor into AMD 64. So what you have is live slash AMD 64 or Rescatux slash AMD 64, which I guess it's what you have here. Look at that, Rescatux slash AMD 64. So this is the label. So the 686 label is the same thing, but we put 666. The auto detect is the same thing, but we put auto detect. And I mean, yes, this could be, we could do this in another way. So we could save this part here into a variable and then just replace flavor with whatever we want to have. And finally, auto menu label. Oh, actual human being. Nice. If you have any question regarding GNU Linux, Rescatux, supergroup to disk, you can ask it, and I will try to answer to my best. And auto menu label is, what the hell is this? Instead of auto detect is auto, yeah, so it's menu label, so it's this one here, I guess. So it's the same one. We don't use the menu label which has failsafe on it, although now this would need to be fixed, because this is using failsafe without a hyphen, and now we have a hyphen, so that would need to be fixed. So yeah, the auto menu label thing is this thing here where we replace label space with this, and I mean it would be this one here, isn't it? So it would be replacing flavor with auto. Yeah, that's it. So flavor with auto. So that makes sense. We can do this much better, I guess. Okay, and what else in here do we have? This is how you count stuff. And now if this is true, that you have more than 2 of these kernels, what you actually want to do is, instead of just, oh wait a minute, instead of just adding, what you usually do is, yeah, I guess that there's an else somewhere. I mean, no, there's not an else. So if you have 2 or more kernels regarding this, you have to add the auto thing, which is this one here. Yeah. So it's not as difficult as it might seem, although yeah, we could maybe do this in one. I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe we can have this thing in here. And this is changing the flavor, the whatever you have on the live.cfg.en. Actually, in all of this, we've got this thing. Okay. Yeah, I mean, what you are seeing here is just bash that is generating text, you know what I mean? So you want to write into a file, so this is the file that you want to write to, and what you actually do is just do like this, and then there should be an EOF somewhere. Yeah, so the EOF is here, so you can add a bunch of lines, and when you want the file to end, you just write EOF as the first three characters of the line. And so this is done by using this thing here. So greater than space EOF. That means please take everything that is written here, and then when this ends we are done. And this is the other part of the command, that it's at, this means append at the end of the file. So basically this is a bit how do we manage to, you know, how do we manage to how do we manage to write properly in a file in order to do this auto detect the architectures properly. So I guess I could try to comment this thing onto the live file so that we can uncomment it, and that would be nice. So now to menu label AMD 64 labels, so we should have the AMD 64 label. How are you supposed to be that the first one is AMD 64? It's because it has an A, isn't it? The second one has a 686 because it has an I mean, actually yeah, so the label is what you have created from live.cfg.in. Yeah, so the label is actually this thing here, live-flavor thing. So we could actually have, so the question is, can we have comments in all of this stuff regarding this thing here? Because I don't know, is there any comment in here? Oh, look at that. Yes, there is a comment. Is there a comment in here? No. Look at that. This is the optional memtest include thing, which is what I like of this, because there's actually an example of how you use this. So this is done on binary Syslinux. So that's what we are looking in at here. So if there is a memtest, we replace this to include memtest. However, if there is no memtest, you just remove it. Okay, so that's what we want to do. Actually, we want to do something similar to this, but with our text in here, I think. Actually, I don't want to do this way because it's rather, you know, how to label AMD 64 label. I mean, I think we can just comment this thing here. why would you complicate yourself unless we include this thing? Wait a minute, we can include this thing. That way it's much easier to work with, although it's true that we would have a you would have to rename both those files for this to work properly. You know what I mean? Actually, the 666 label, we don't know which one it is, or do we? Because you actually have the flavor, but wait a minute. So in order to have the AMD64 label, you just change flavor into AMD64, which makes sense to me. And apparently this is what happens when you do the ISO thing. So what you have here is whatever you had / AMD64. Yeah, so I think we could do an include, and only if we want to have this thing called auto detect. So now I have an idea on how to implement this. Let's try to work with that. So first of all, we should create a new file. Let me see, what the hell is this? So Syslinux common should have a new file. Wait, this is .in because you are supposed to modify it. However, all of these you are not supposed to be modifying it. I mean, and you want to have this on the top. Okay, let me copy and paste real quick, and let's see how this looks like. So this would be, and this would be auto. Yeah, look at that. Auto, which is changed because of the flavor. I'm not sure if what I'm doing makes sense or not. So the flavor is actually auto, isn't it? And there is no failsafe because we don't want a failsafe, I think. Let's take a look at the commit maybe. So we don't want a failsafe. What the hell did we do here? Yeah, we don't want a failsafe. That doesn't make too much sense to have a failsafe here. So the failsafe part, we can remove it. Okay. And so the idea is that this is live auto, that this is auto detect, if I don't remember very well. If I remember well, I guess I mean What the hell is this? Yeah, look at that. Auto detect. Although flavor auto. So down is, so this is auto detect and then it's auto. One second. Have I read this right? So the menu label is auto. Menu label is auto, and this is auto detect. Then, so this is auto. Okay, menu default is also here because this is the default menu. And now we need the rest of the code that we had on here, which is all of this label, whatever, which it's going to be I mean label. Why is this menu default? Why do we have a label and menu label in here? That doesn't make sense. Label. Yeah, okay, so label, menu default. Apparently we were not using menu default, although it makes sense to have it. And now it's time to add these two lines at the bottom. So you would have something like this. So the question is there anything useful in here? Linux no, there's nothing useful in here. So which is the AMD64 label? It's actually just having this thing live AMD64. So live AMD64, and then the other ones are just 666, isn't it? Because that's what we were using there, 666. I mean, I don't think we are going to change any of this in the future. 666 and 666. So this is what you have here. So live system auto, and yeah, there's this com thing that it's called, and then you append, so either live AMD64 or live 666, and finally, if you don't know, then you do the other one. So this is what you want to have as wait a minute, look at that. We don't have to we don't have to replace anything in here, so it's just a matter of renaming this to auto.cft. I mean, we could call this auto arc, which is more than 8. So auto arc, auto detect. Yeah, I don't know if this auto thing is a good idea. Okay, so once we have this, we should also modify live.c whatever, and this should be modified in such a way that we have an include on the top, unless somehow we don't do that. We don't do that. I don't know. I mean, the utilities thing. How do you use the utilities thing in here? Menu begin utilities, include utilities, menu.cfg. Let me see this thing, this interesting thing. Why isn't there, why it's not detected as, oh, it has this piece of shit. Okay, look at that. So we have an optional installer include, and we also have include stt menu.cfg, and I don't know, whatever. Where the hell do they use live.cfg in any of this? Because this needs to be converted to live.cfg. Okay, menu.cfg has an include of this thing. Okay, it's live, and so include live.cfg. That's it. So basically what you want to do is replicate this thing into here. So it's just optional auto arc include. So this is auto arc. Okay, so basically we have this optional auto arc include. Let me add where the hell do we have the live build repo is in here. Let me just add this to, you know, a new commit, because we want to take a look, at, so we have this optional auto arc include. Okay, nice. And we also have this live auto detect thing that it's also nice. And so this is add arch auto detect. I mean, what's the branch name? Real quick. Arch auto detection. Syslinux arch auto detection. Let's put number 1, and later on we will see what we do with all of this. So we have the menu. We have the auto arc thing, which I think it's much better than what we had before, because it was something that we created. We put it here and there and so on. Then we will see how we are supposed to be renaming all of this. So once you have this, you need to write to code the optional part, which is optional. So we are interested on this optional installer include thing, which I no longer remember. So binary Syslinux has this. So we need to modify binary Syslinux. Yeah, look at that. So this is the code that we want to replicate in our case, so that we actually have something useful to do. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if true, and that's it. So memtest utilities. So memtest.cfg is being removed. Oh my god, so we are going to do that too. Where to do this thing? It's very installer memtest. Where's the order? Installer memtest. Let's do it before the installer. Maybe it makes more sense. I don't know. So replace placeholder for optional auto arc menu entry include. So for now we're going to say if true, then this thing, okay? Then we will see how we manage to find if we want auto arc or not. So the hell is this? Let's work with this. What the hell do we want to do here? Let's change this thing around, because what I want to check is that that you want to do this. So for me the logic is inverse logic. So what I actually want to do, if I want auto, I do auto, otherwise I'm going to remove the auto. So we remove auto arc when there's nothing to do, and we also get rid of this optional thing, and this is removed from menu.cfg, which is where's the line it is, where the line it is. So menu.cfg, and this is not the actual name that we have put. We have put something else, which is install auto arc include. So look at that, auto arc include. Let me just replace this thing here. Okay. So I'm not going to sleep yet, but almost there. So what we were doing here. So the same thing happens here. So we want to replace menu.cfg. So we will leave it here, I guess, but you know. So basically this optional auto arc include now needs to include auto arc .cfg, which is very nice. Okay, so that's what you do here. So this truth thing needs to be improved so that it has something else, and we also need to do the other part. So in here you can see how we count the different Linux flavors in order to know if we want to do one thing or the other, and that's something that you need to do in here, and that's what we did here. So you also have to do this, the menu default thing, in whatever. Okay, let me save this. Let me write down what's left to be done, and we will end the stream. Binary Syslinux. So this is number 2. So let me write down what are we supposed to do next day. Okay, so first of all, count how many Linux flavors there are to know if it's worth enable or not, if it's worth enable or not the auto detect menu. Okay, and then thanks to that variable, to that boolean variable, that's include or not auto arc. So we need to replace true. Okay, and then thanks to the boolean, then modify the code so that what's the fucking so that menu oh wait a minute, this one should be in another place, otherwise we will have to see how we do this. The hell is this? Grep -b. Yeah, this thing here. Yeah, so that is done in more places when that boolean variable is through. So you've got the AMD 60 kernel, you've got the 68 kernel, and then you've got the auto entry. So this is menu default by default, and we need to make sure that menu default is no longer written here. So that's what you have to do. Okay, so this is the to-do that we have to do for the next day. I'm not sure. I mean, there's suraf. Okay, so I'm going to push this code so that you can have it if you want to. So what's the GitHub origin and this thing? Even if it's not finished, you can learn of the changes or whatever not. So now we can go on to what the hell is this? Rescatux live build, and we should see here the new branch that we have just pushed with the different commits, and here you can see the changes for today changes, so that Suraf can learn from this if he wants to. So you can see how we have created a new file, AutoArc, which already has all of what we need here. Yeah, and We also want to copy the needed C32 files, not sure how many. So in all of these, there's this commit here also should have somewhere yeah, that you want to copy this module. Okay, copy the needed file. So this is everything needs to be done. So you can turn this on or not depending on this. Okay, and that's how you would do it. So that's all for today. So thank you very much for watching. Bye.